In the cocoa-rich village of Ogbomu, the air smelled of fresh earth and ripe cocoa pods. The village was full of life, with traders shouting in the market and children laughing as they ran through the crowd. This was where 16-year-old Ayotunde, or Ayo as everyone called him, lived with his family in a simple but lively home at the edge of the village. Ayo had big responsibilities for someone so young. Ayo's father was a wealthy cocoa farmer, respected by everyone for his success and kindness, but Ayo felt closest to his mom, Modupe, and his 7 sisters. Their house, surrounded by plantain trees, was always full of laughter, occasional arguments, and the everyday sounds of family life. Outside the building was surrounded by fruits and palm trees, and each sister added her own energy to the home. Bola Tito, the oldest at 18, acted like a second mom. She kept everything organized and helped Modupe manage the household. Fumilayo, 15, was the family's protector. She was bold and fearless, making sure no one messed with her siblings. Temilade, 13, loved books and shared stories that took her siblings to magical places. Folashade, 12, had a beautiful voice and sang songs that brought comfort during hard times. Omolara, 10, was the family prankster, always making everyone laugh with her tricks. Eyanoluwa, 8, was wise beyond her years and helped settle family disputes. The youngest, Oluwatosin, 6, brought pure joy with her laughter and innocent questions. Ayo loved his sisters, but he often felt out of place in the busy female-filled home. He wished he could have the kind of bond other boys had with their fathers, working on the farm or playing games together. Though his father's success gave the family stability, his emotional absence left a gap in Ayo's life. Modupe was a resilient and caring mom who worked tirelessly to ensure her children were well taken care of. One evening, as they gathered around their home, she shared something that profoundly shifted Ayo's perspective about himself. "Ayo," she said, her voice warm and steady, "do you know that a house can have 2 fathers?" "2 fathers?" Ayo asked, feeling confused. "Yes," she replied, "one who brings you into the world and another who shapes it. In this family, you have become our second father. You take care of us, protect your sisters, and help me when times are challenging. You should be proud of yourself." Her words filled Ayo's heart. From that moment, he took on his role with pride. He worked harder on the cocoa farm and supported his siblings with care and love. He no longer saw his family as missing something, but as strong and complete in their own way. Ayo's story became one of inspiration in Ogbomu. He learned that family isn't about traditional rules, but about love, unity, and stepping out when needed. With his father's legacy as a successful farmer and his mom's strength as his guide, Ayo showed that even a house with 2 fathers could thrive, built on hope and love. However, Ayo's father, Babatunde, was a man renowned across Ogbomu. He was tall, wealthy, and charismatic. People could not ignore the magnetic aura he exuded. Babajide was a man whose wealth and charm made him a figure of admiration, envy, and mystery. As a prosperous cocoa merchant, Babajide's name was well known in every market. His life was marked by extravagance and indulgence. He enjoyed flaunting his wealth, hosting lavish parties that drew guests from near and far. His house was a symbol of his success. Yet, instead of using his wealth wisely, Babajide spent it carelessly. He focused on reckless pleasures rather than securing the future of his family. Babajide's reputation was also tarnished by his infidelities. Though he was married to Modupe, a gentle and God-fearing woman, he was unfaithful. His affairs were well known in Ogbomu, and his relationships with other women led to the birth of 9 additional children. By the time Ayo was just 10 years old, Babajide was the father of 17 children, spread across various households. When confronted, he often dismissed the issue with an arrogant response, "I have money. I can take care of my children." Modupe, on the other hand, was everything Babajide was not. She was gentle, patient, and steadfast. A devoted mom, she focused her energy on her children and prayed constantly for her husband's redemption. Modupe endured Babajide's betrayal in silence, believing her prayer might bring about a change in his ways. She held on to hope, despite his mocking laughter and dismissive attitude. "You spend all your time praying," Babajida would say, laughing. "What has it gotten you? I am the one providing for this family." But Modupe's faith never wavered. She clung to her belief that one day Babajide would see the error of his ways. Babajide's reckless lifestyle eventually caught up with him. Poor business decisions and unchecked spending led to the downfall of his once prosperous cocoa empire. His wealth, which had fueled his lavish lifestyle, dwindled, and with it, the crowd of friends, admirers, and mistresses that once surrounded him began to disappear. As his fortune faded, Babajide was left with only a handful of companions to face the consequences of his choices. Modupe was unable to bear the shame any longer. She made the difficult decision to leave. She could no longer tolerate Babajide's arrogance and the chaos he had brought to their family. With a heavy heart, she gathered her 8 children and left Ogbomu, determined to build a new life for them elsewhere. With nothing but her faith and determination, Modupe led her children to a nearby town, telling them the Lord will provide, though the road ahead was uncertain. Life in their new home was far from easy. Modupe found work at an oil mill factory, a demanding job that paid little. The hours were long, and the years were physically exhausting. Despite the challenges, she remained steadfast, trusting that her hard work would pay off. Ayo, the oldest son, quickly stepped into a supporting role. At just 16 years old, he became his mother's right hand, helping her carry heavy bags of produce to the market and taking care of his younger siblings. Though life was difficult, the family's unity and resilience became their greatest source of strength. They faced their struggles together, finding comfort in each other's presence. One day, Modupe's colleague fell into the mill, and she quickly stepped in to help him back up. Her act of kindness did not go unnoticed by her boss. On another occasion, while visiting the mill, Oladimeji, a wealthy widower and a shareholder in the oil mill factory, observed Modupe's unwavering dedication. Known for his kindness and thoughtfulness, Oladimeji often visited the mill to monitor its operations. He was struck by Modupe's quiet resilience and admired her determination. Gradually, he started engaging her in conversations, sharing encouraging words, and offering thoughtful gestures. At first, Modupe was worried. After years of heartbreak and betrayal, She had found it difficult to trust anyone, especially a man. But Oladimeji's sincerity broke down her defenses. He admired her not just for her hard work, but for her character and her unwavering love for her children. Modupe, he said one evening as they talked, "You are a remarkable woman. I see the strength you carry every day, and I will be honored to stand by your side." Tears filled Modupe's eyes. "Oladimeji," she replied, "I have been hurt before. I don't know if I can trust again. I have no intention of causing you pain." A widower with 4 children, Oladimeji was ready to begin a new chapter with her after losing his wife. "I want to love and care for you and care for your children," Oladimeji said softly. "I want to walk this journey with you, not only for your sake, but for your children, and my children need a loving mother like you as well." Eventually, Modupe allowed herself to believe in the possibility of happiness. She accepted Oladimeji's proposal, and their wedding was a modest but joyous affair. Close friends and family gathered to celebrate the union, and for the first time in years, Modupe and her children felt the warmth of stability and love. Oladimeji welcomed Modupe's children into his home, treating them as his own and blending them with his 4 children from his previous marriage. Together, they became a large and loving family. Meanwhile, Babajide stayed behind in Ogbomu, a mere shadow of the man he once was. As his empire crumbled, his friends abandoned him, leaving him humbled by the weight of his losses. The solitude he faced forced him to confront the consequences of his actions. Too late, he came to understand that his pride and arrogance and recklessness had cost him dearly. His fortune, his standing, and most heartbreakingly, his family. Years later, Babajide sought to reconnect with his children. He wrote letters to Ayo, expressing his regret and asking for forgiveness. Ayo, now a young man, read his father's words with mixed emotions. He remembered the pain his dad's actions had caused, but he also recognized the sincerity of his remorse. After much thought, Ayo decided to visit his father. When they met, Babajide was no longer the proud and confident man Ayo remembered. He was frail and worn. His once booming voice, now quiet and reflective. "Ayo," he said, tears streaming down his face, "I failed you and your siblings. I thought money could solve everything, but I was wrong. Can you ever forgive me?" Ayo looked at his father and saw not just the man who had caused his family so much pain, but a man who was truly sorry. "I forgive you, Baba," he said quietly, "but forgiveness doesn't erase the past. I hope you have learned from your mistakes." Babajide nodded. "I have, my son, and I pray you never follow the path I chose." As the years went by, Modupe's family thrived under Oladimeji's care. The children grew up in a home filled with love, discipline, and guidance. Modupe often reflected on her journey and the choices she had made. She realized that her faith and the resilience had carried her through the darkest times, and that her decision to leave Babajide had been the turning point of her family's future. The story of Babajide and Modupe became a cautionary tale in Ogbomu. It was a reminder of the dangers of arrogance and the importance of humility and responsibility. For Modupe, it was a testament of the power of faith, determination, and the courage to make difficult choices. Ayo, inspired by his mom's strength, pursued a career in education. He dedicated his life to teaching young people the values of hard work, integrity, and compassion. Learn from the mistakes of others, he often told his students. And never forget that true wealth is not measured by money, but by the love and respect you earn from those around you. While Modupe's life blossomed, Babajide continued to unravel. Once a man of charm and influence, Babajide found himself abandoned by the women he had once lavished with his gifts and shunned by the community he had wronged. His charisma and wealth had faded, leaving him destitute and alone. Desperation gnawed at him, facing him to consider the unthinkable, seeking out Modupe, the woman he had once taken for granted. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in hues of orange and pink, Babajide stood at Modupe's doorstep. His appearance was startling. The commanding presence he once carried was now diminished. His frame was frail, his clothes hung loosely on him, and his eyes were hollow, reflecting years of hardship and regret. Modupe opened the door, and her breath caught in her throat. "Babajide," she said, her voice a mixture of surprise and caution. He hesitated, looking down at his worn-out shoes. "Modupe," he began, his voice cracking. I have made mistakes. I have lost everything. But our children, surely they won't abandon me." Modupe's mind raced with memories of the pain he had caused her and the children. She remembered the nights of loneliness, the struggle to provide for her family, and the tears she had shed. Yet, standing before her was not the arrogant man she once knew, but a broken shell of him. After a long, heavy silence, she spoke. "Babajide, Babajide," she said, her tone firm and steady. "I prayed for you for years, hoping you would find your way, but you chose your own path, and it led you here. Now you come to me for help? For the sake of our children, I won't turn you away, but understand this, I do this out of duty and not love." Oladimeji, her husband and partner through years of rebuilding, stepped beside her. His calm and reassuring presence gave Modupe strength. Oladimeji had witnessed her struggles and had supported her through the darkest times. Now he supported her decision. Together, they offered Babajide some financial assistance to start afresh, with a clear understanding that he would need to rebuild his life independently. They set boundaries, ensuring that their assistance would not enable him to fall back into his old habits. For Ayo, the eldest of Modupe and Babajide's children, this moment was pivotal. Watching his father's downfall and his mom's unwavering strength left a profound impact on him. He saw firsthand how pride and recklessness could destroy a man and admired his mom's resilience. But it was Oladimeji who left the deepest impression. Through his actions, Oladimeji showed Ayo what it meant to be a kind man, what it meant to be responsible and an honorable man. He treated Modupe with respect, cared for the family as his own, and made decisions that prioritized the well-being of others. Oladimeji became the father figure Ayo needed, a stark contrast to the man Babajide had been. Inspired, Ayo began to emulate Oladimeji's qualities. He took on more responsibility within the family, helping his mom and siblings whenever he could. He became a source of support and stability, ensuring his sisters felt safe and cared for. These lessons shaped him as he grew older, influencing every aspect of his life. As a young adult, Ayo carried these values into his interactions with others. He treated people with respect, valued integrity, and prioritized his family above all else. Babajide's mistakes became a cautionary tale, while Modupe and Oladimeji's strength became his guiding light. Years later, Ayo returned to Ogbomu as a young man with a reputation for fairness and wisdom. The village had changed little, but Ayo saw it with fresh eyes. Determined to make a difference, he took over a small cocoa farm left unattended by an elderly villager who could no longer manage it. Ayo poured his energy into the farm, building a business grounded in honesty and community. Under his leadership, the farm flourished. He employed local villagers, providing jobs and opportunities for many who had struggled to make ends meet. Ayo's fair treatment of his workers and dedication to quality earned him respect and admiration. People began to look up to him, seeking his advice and guidance. Despite his growing success, Ayo remained humble. He never forgot the lessons of his childhood and often shared his story with others. He spoke of his father's fall from grace, his mom's resilience, and the strength of a man like Oladimeji. His words inspired those around him, encouraging them to rise above their circumstances and embrace the power of resilience and love. In time, Ayo's name became synonymous with integrity in Ogbomu. His farm became a symbol of hope, demonstrating what could be achieved through hard work, honesty, and a commitment to community. The boy who had once watched his family struggle was now a man who brought stability and prosperity to others. Ayo's sisters, too, carried forward lessons of their upbringing. They pursued education and careers, determined to create lives of their own while remaining close to their family. The bond they shared with Ayo was unbreakable, built on years of mutual support and understanding. Babajide, having received a second chance, slowly rebuilt his life. Though he remained distant from Modupe and her family, he made an effort to mend his relationship with his children. Ayo in particular extended a hand of forgiveness. While the scars of the past could not be erased, they served as a reminder of the importance of growth and redemption. Modupe and Oladimeji, now elders in the community, watched with pride as their family thrived. They knew the journey had not been easy, but their struggle had borne fruit. Their home became a place of gathering, filled with laughter, love, and the stories of generations. The legacy of Modupe's resilience, Oladimeji's guidance, and Ayo's determination endured. It was a testament of the power of love, forgiveness, and the human spirit. The boy from Ogbomu, shaped by the trials of two fathers, had turned his family's story into one of hope and redemption, proving that even in the face of adversity, love and determination could light the way forward. Thank you so much for watching. If this has blessed and kept you entertained, please subscribe, comment, like, and hit the notification bells for further videos. Stay blessed.